Hi guys! Welcome back to our channel. This time we're going to present 5 sci-fi anime recommendations from 2010 to 2019 part 2. But before we start, don't forget to subscribe and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. Check it out! Number 5 is Inuyashiki. Inuyashiki is an anime adaptation from manga with the same name made by Hiroya Aku. These anime are from October 2017 to December 2017, with a total had 11 episodes. Inuyashiki tells you about Ichiro Inuyashiki, a 58-year-old family man who is going through a difficult time in his life. Though his frequent back problems are painful, nothing helps quiet as much as the indifference and distaste that his wife and children have for him. Despite this, Ichiro still manages to find solace in Hanako, an abandoned Shiba Inu that he adopts into his home. However, his life takes a turn for the worse when a follow-up physical examination reveals that Ichiro has stomach cancer and only 3 months to live. Though he tries to be strong, his family's disinterest causes an emotional breakdown. Running off into a nearby field, Ichiro embraces his dog and weeps until he notices a strange figure standing before him. Suddenly, a bright light appears and Ichiro is enveloped by smoke and dust. When he comes to, he discovers something is amiss. He has been reborn as a mechanized weapon wearing the skin of his former self. Though initially shocked, the compassionate Ichiro immediately uses his newfound powers to save a life, an act of kindness that fills him with happiness and newfound hope. Although this anime uses the title of the protagonist's name and even the synopsis depicts the protagonist's figure, but the story that's delivered is dominated by the antagonist. The storyline at the beginning focuses on the beginning of Shishigami being evil. Although this anime has a superhero theme mixed with sci-fi element, each character has a realistic and complex personality, and both the antagonist and protagonist characters have their own goals and reasons for doing their actions. Visual mix of 3D and 2D here looks so good and consistent, especially when there is a battle scene. Overall, this anime is a must to watch, especially with a unique story concept coupled with characters that feel realistic, making this anime not to be missed, especially for those of you who like anime with action and superhero genres. Number 4 is Plastic Memories. Plastic Memories is an original anime made by Studio Doga Kobo and directed by Yoshiyuki Fujiwara. These anime are from April 2015 to June 2015, with a total had 13 episodes. Plastic Memories tells a story about an 18-year-old Tsukasa Mizukagi who has failed his college entrance exams. But after pulling some strings, he manages to land a job at the Shion Artificial Intelligence Corporation. SAI Corp is responsible for the creation of Giftias, highly advanced androids which are almost indiscernible from normal humans. However, unlike humans, Giftias have a maximum lifespan of 81,920 hours, or around 9 years and 4 months. Terminal Service 1, the station Tsukasa was assigned to, is responsible for collecting Giftias that have met their expiration date before they lose their memories and become hostile. Promptly after joining Terminal Service 1, Tsukasa is partnered with a beautiful Giftia named Ayla. She is a Terminal Service veteran and considered the best in Giftia retrievals, contrary to her petite figure and placid nature. Time is fleeting though, and Tsukasa must come to terms with his feelings for Ayla before her time is up. No matter how much someone deserves it, nothing lasts forever. By telling the story of the romance that occurs between a human with a humanoid robot who is at the end of her life will drain the tears of its audience in each episode. This anime seems to remind us that losing memories about people we loved feels very sad, and that's why as long as our loved ones are still healthy, we have to make even more valuable memories. Although this anime has a lot of conflicting and touching drama, this anime also doesn't forget to tuck in various comedy elements that are funny and entertaining so that this anime doesn't feel too stiff. The characters in this anime have different personalities, especially the two main characters. But as the story progresses, we increasingly see chemistry that feels stronger between the two of them, making the story presented feels even more interesting to watch. The visuals presented look beautiful, from the background that drawn in detail and the character design that look attractive. Overall, if you're looking for a touching and sad romance drama anime that contains a lot of moral messages in it, then this anime is suitable for you. Number 3 is Kanata no Astra. Kanata no Astra is an anime adaptation from manga with the same name made by Shinohara Kanta. Kanata no Astra is telling a story in the year 2063, when space travel is feasible and commercially available. As the cheerful Arya Spring arrives at the spaceport to attend a camp on the distant planet Mekpa, her purse is suddenly snatched by a reckless thief. Luckily, the athletic Kanata Hoshijima is able to retrieve it for her, and Arya soon discovers that he is among the group of teenagers who will be traveling with her on the excursion as Team B5. Upon arriving at their campsite, the group's trip takes a turn for the worse when a strange sphere of black light sucks them into the vast reaches of outer space. Stranded with seemingly no hope, they find an abandoned ship nearby that provides them with the means to return home. However, they soon discover that they are not as close to their campsite as they initially thought, but are in fact thousands of light years away from home. With this realization, the 9 members must cautiously manage their resources, maintain their strength, and unite as one to conquer the darkness of space together. While the reason behind their trip's sudden obstruction remains unknown, they nevertheless embark on the treacherous voyage back home aboard their new ship, the Astra. This anime combines sci-fi theme with drama element that feels really emotional but interesting to watch. I really like how each character gets their character development in every episode. I also like the variety of plot twists that is presented, because previously we have been given various hints before the plot twist was given. It makes the twist plot presented to feel forced. The animation is also really good, and all the planets drawn beautifully. If you like space or sci-fi anime, I think you're gonna like this anime as well. Number 2 is Shidonia no Kishi. Shidonia no Kishi is an anime adaptation from manga with the same name made by Tsutomu Nihei. The first season of this anime aired from April 2014 to June 2014, and the second season aired from April 2015 to June 2015, with each season had a total of 12 episodes. Shidonia no Kishi tells story in the future in 3394, when Earth is said to have been destroyed 1,000 years earlier due to the attack of aliens called Gaona. Humans also roam through space using ships called Sidonia to find new planets that can be inhabited by humans, even though they are also, while avoiding the pursuit of Gaona who targeted them. The main character here is called Tanikaze Nagate, who was raised by his grandfather in an underground passageway without knowing that he lives in a giant ship. After his grandfather died, Tanikaze Nagate, who was starving, was forced out of an underground passageway, and that led him to find a residential area on the surface. Although Tanikaze was finally captured by the authorities and was met by the masked woman who was also the captain of the ship, Tanikaze is also allowed to stay on the surface even though he has to be willing to be a humanoid robot pilot to face Gaona. The story in this anime is actually simple, only about a young man who has to drive giant robots to defeat the various Gaona who threaten the ship where he lives. Even so, there are various interesting things, such as in terms of execution and development of the story. Conflicts in this anime also vary, from conflicts between robot pilots who have to face the counter attack and conflicts regarding the divided Sidonia community. From these conflicts, it makes the story of this anime even more interesting to follow. The visuals displayed in this anime look neat, especially with the background display of the buildings that are unique added value for this anime. Fight animation presented in this anime also looks so cool and intense, especially the animation is presented in 3D. Overall, if you like mecha anime that takes a survival background in space, then this anime is suitable for you. Number 1 is Psycho-Pass. Psycho-Pass is an original anime made by Studio Production IG and directed by Katsuyuki Motohiro and Naoyoshi Shiotani. The first season of this anime aired from October 2012 to March 2013, with a total had 22 episodes. The second season aired from October 2014 to December 2014, with a total had 11 episodes. And third season aired from October 2019 to December 2019, with a total had 8 episodes. There were also 4 movies, with the first movie premiered in January 2015, the second movie premiered in January 2019, the third movie premiered in February 2019, and the fourth movie premiered in March 2019. Psycho-Pass takes place in the 22nd century, when Japan enforces the Sibyl system, an objective means of determining the threat level of each citizen by examining their mental state for signs of criminal intent, known as their psychopaths. Inspectors uphold the law by subjugating, often with lethal force, anyone harboring the slightest ill will. Alongside them are enforcers, judged inspectors that have become latent criminals, granted further freedom in exchange for carrying out the inspector's dirty work. Into this world steps Akane Tsunemori, a young woman with an honest desire to uphold justice. However, as she works alongside veteran enforcer Shinya Kogami, she soon learns that the civil system's judgments are not as perfect as her fellow inspectors assume. With everything she has known turned on its head, Akane wrestles with the question of what justice truly is and whether it can be upheld through the use of a system that may already be corrupt. In the Zanmei, we'll be given various interesting cases around various kinds of people who have mental problems which will then be captured or killed by the inspectors depending on the threat level of the psychopaths. The story presented in Zanmei is really interesting because in every small crime that occurs, there is always a mystery that will eventually lead to a core problem that turns out to be much bigger. It is not only the mystery that is interesting, but the action that is also presented is no less exciting and tense, so you will not feel bored while watching it. As the story goes on, we will also get to know various personalities and backgrounds of the characters in the Zanmei. Unlike most anime, the characters in the Zanmei feel more realistic, so it is difficult to determine who is good or bad. The visuals presented looks amazing, coupled with detailed background that can bring nuance in the anime itself. Overall, if you like anime about brilliant sci-fi and action, then the Zanmei is suitable for you. Well, it's 5 sci-fi anime recommendations from 2010 to 2019 part 2 that we can present this time. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to our channel. Thanks for watching and see you next time, guys!